What's up, guys? Welcome back to the film room. I don't know of any coach or player that wouldn't want to get more steals in a game. So in this video, we're going to look at how you can create more opportunities to get steals when you're playing defense against the pick and roll. And just a reminder, if you want a 15% discount on a EuroLeague TV annual pass, use code FilmRoom15 as you check out, and I put the link in the description. Now, I hear people stress about ball screen coverage all the time because they're concerned about giving up easy layups or dunks to the guy who's rolling to the rim, or giving up wide open catch and shoot threes when they're trying to tag or help. And those are legitimate concerns. But in this video, we're going to look at Barcelona because they led EuroLeague this year in steals, and part of the reason they did that is because of their ball screen coverage and their ability to anticipate where the ball was going to go, and the rotations were phenomenal. Now, these examples are specifically going to be for any variation of hedge coverage, so if you're a team that switches everything, this won't be as beneficial for you. Now, the number one key that your defense has to have if you're going to get steals out of the pick and roll is being able to anticipate where's the most likely next pass going to happen. So here's an example of what I mean. As the ball gets driven baseline, this defender has to rotate over. So the most likely next pass is going to be the skip to the corner, so number one needs to anticipate that and rotate over. If that happens, the next most likely pass is going to be to the wing, and now this defender needs to rotate over as well. Now that takes some good anticipation, but here's what great anticipation looks like. Zero closes out like this because he knows the next pass is going to be to his man, and he anticipates it to jump up and steal it. And number 8, who was the initial rotation man, is also running to that next pass because he knows that's where it's supposed to go. So being able to do what I'm about to show you takes some great anticipation and some phenomenal effort. So the number one concern for any ball screen coverage is that when the ball handler comes off the screen and you hedge, there are two people guarding one, which means you're at a disadvantage, and the number one problem is the big who is rolling to the basket. Now, the first principle that I'll give you is we don't ever want to help out of the strong side corner if you're guarding someone who can shoot. And that's because it's the easiest pass to make and there's nobody else to help if you leave from that spot. So here's what we're left with. The corner man is going to stay home, and if you look at the back two defenders, number 1 probably has to stay with 13 because he's a shooter, and that puts all the stress on this man right here that we will refer to as the low tag, because he's responsible for his man in the corner, but he also needs to rotate over and tag, and that's where a lot of these steal opportunities are going to come from. So essentially, that low tag becomes like a free safety in football who is playing zone coverage and just reading the eyes of the quarterback. So on this ball screen, you have 2 on the ball. We don't help out of the strong side corner, and this guard is responsible for the wing. So this is your free safety or your low tag who's going to be responsible for reading the ball handler and anticipating where that pass is going to go because he's guarding 2. And the more you're in these situations, the easier it gets to anticipate where that pass is going to be made. Here's another example of a step-up ball screen. There's 2 on the ball, and the strong side corner and this top wing already know who they're guarding, and this is our free safety or our low tag that has 2. So as soon as he sees 13 recover back, he knows he doesn't have responsibility with the big, and he can jump this pass to the opposite corner. Here's another example of the same thing. As the ball handler comes off, we don't help out of the strong side corner, and this top guard is telling the big to rotate down, and he's going to stay up top. So now our low tag has to anticipate the roll and be in position to steal it, but read the ball handler well enough that if he throws that skip pass, he can jump that one as well. But it takes all 5 guys to guard a ball screen by communicating, knowing rotations, and getting active with your hands. Here's an example of everyone doing their job. The 2 players on the ball know that it's probably going to get passed out, and they're active with their hands. The low tag is not only communicating, but he is prepared for the roll. He's talking to this backside guy who is now responsible for 2, and the wing up top is making sure the guard can't easily get the ball out of the hedge.
Deflected pass, so it's turned over. Hernangomez getting on the deck after.
We'll use this possession to show how the top tag can relieve a lot of pressure from the low tag on these ball screens. This big is going to hedge and he's going to be late recovering, and so now the low tag is responsible for the big who's rolling and helping out of the corner. But because the top tag is in position to take away the pass to his man, he can also anticipate the pass to the corner, so now the low tag can stay longer and he ends up stealing that pass. But teams will get creative and start to do things to remove those tag defenders. So on this ball screen, you'll notice that both of these players are standing really high, so now there's nobody down here to make sure that the big isn't open on the roll. And this is where the hedge defender does a phenomenal job of anticipating the pass over the top, so now they got a steal even when there was no tag defender. So it's extremely important to always have active hands when you're guarding the ball handler. On this drive, the guard can clearly see that number 0 is stuck guarding 2 people, and he's anticipating throwing that pass over to the other side. But if you look at the active hands by these 2 defenders and by this guard peeling off and rotating back, that's why they ended up getting the steal even when the guard found somebody open.
You don't make it to this level of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Basketball IQ is lacking. These players always thinking of the deflection. Springs Dario Brizuela, 3-on-1 opportunities.
Now, if you do switch 1 through 5, you can still use some of these principles in certain situations, because this hedge essentially turns into an emergency switch, and we know we're not helping from either one of these players, and the guard sees that there's a mismatch right here on the switch and wants to throw the ball over the top, but because the low tag is in proper position, he still makes the same play that we've been seeing before and gets the steal. So as we wrap up, I want to review a few of the things that we just talked about. In any ball screen coverage that involves a hedge, these are things that you can do to get steals. In general, we never want to help out of the strong side corner. So once they come off the ball screen, you have a low tag and a high tag, and one of them, in this video, the low tag, needs to be prepared to steal the pass to the big while being prepared for a kick out to the wing, and you can do all of this by having great on-ball pressure. As always, thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.